Event preparation seems never ending because each time we finish an event, we have to do things like reorder books. And if you've been following my saga, the video I posted yesterday about trying to get copies of Haunt Season, I finally did get a few, but they all haven't arrived yet. And it's possible I may be missing some because they said they delivered more than they actually have. I have one more box coming today, according to the website and the Postal Service. So we'll see if that happens. But for the moment, I do have 4 copies of Haunt Season, and I think I have 9 copies of Passion Restored for this weekend. So restocking books is a constant. Also, JT and I have been doing giveaways, and the really popular giveaways that we've started doing consist of a little bag. It's a little goodie bag. It's got our business card. We have a small keychain, and then we have usually a piece of chocolate. Now, we have learned that for doing outdoor events, chocolate is not the best idea because it melted pretty quickly. So we may swap that out. But this coming weekend, we're doing an indoor event. So we've got some kisses in here right now. So basically, I thought I would just chat with you about events while I'm putting together some more of these little bags because we just got another, we restocked our supplies. We just got a delivery of them yesterday. So basically, it's just putting in the business card like so. And these little bags, we got them on Amazon. I think they're like $10 for 100 or something like that. And then we have a book-themed keychain. So this one says bookworm on it. You probably can't see it, but these actually turned out to be very popular. It's a great way to draw people over because we let them poke through the keychains and then pick out the ones that they like. And some people have offered to pay us for these, but we're giving them away as freebies because it's a way of getting our business cards out there. Because if you just put a business card on the table, people might pick it up. But if you give them something else fun along with it, then they really enjoy it and it makes it memorable for them. So the only challenge is that sometimes it can be a little difficult to get these to slide into the bag. But I try to do it so that our logo shows on the outside. And then here we have a keychain. Some of them come in a plastic bag and some of them don't. But this one has a little coffee cup and it says coffee, reading juice. So on the back side, so our logo is on the front side, and on the back side, I slide in the keychain so that the front is visible. And then when we get more candy, I will add that to the bag as well. The keychains are also something that we ordered off of Amazon. And I think it was something like 50 maybe. I don't remember exactly. I can put links in the description box if you're interested. Let's see, this one is a stack of books that says treat your shelf. So this is part of the preparation for our upcoming event. I believe, will have a table there. So I don't think we need to take a table for this one. Let's see, this one says love, and then it has books. So I don't think we need to take a table for this one. It is an indoor event, so we won't need to take our canopy. And basically, we take our books. We're still trying to come to a decision about the proper number of books to take with us because we're always afraid that we won't take enough and then we'll end up short. But we have also gotten ourselves a little brochure holder, a little plastic one, and I am turning our book sheet. We had a one sheet, but I'm turning it into a trifold brochure that I'm going to put in the little brochure holder, and that will actually help us determine how much space we have on the table because JT has written quite a few books, so getting all of our books out on a 6-foot table can be challenging. We do have a little bookshelf that we will be taking with us as well. So we put a lot of the books on the bookshelf. We have the book stands. I also have done little sheets that I slide into the book that mention tropes and comparable books. So we have those things that we'll be taking with us. We take we call it our office bin that has our cash box and all of our signage, and it has the little first aid kit that we learned very quickly was an important part of our preparations because, as I mentioned yesterday, one of the problems I had when we did an event earlier this year was that I cut myself as we were taking down our pop-up, and I actually bled on my book, Passion Restored. Again, are these books cursed? Who knows? I will say that we were working on getting the cover for Haunt Season uploaded to Draft to Digital. Each site has a different requirement for cover size. They are not consistent, so that can be a little bit challenging. And what JT has started doing when he works with his cover designer is he says that he wants a 5x8 book, for example, and then he gives the sites where we will be uploading it. And that way the cover designer can look at the requirements and set up the files properly so that we don't have to fiddle with them. But what I did was I just said that we were doing a 5x8 book, gave the page count so we'd know how thick it was. And on the back cover, where it's got the little bio, on this one, the barcode fit perfectly. But on Draft to Digital, the barcode was bigger. So I had to move the text up. And my cover designer did give me the file. It was a PSD file. So that's Photoshop. It's an Adobe product. And we don't use a paid version of Adobe anymore. We did have it for a while as students, but it gets expensive. And we gave up that subscription because we didn't feel we were using it often enough to really need it. So I used a free program called GIMP and was able to make that change. And JT finally got that uploaded to Draft to Digital, and we have a proof copy coming. So the whole Draft to Digital for Haunt Season has been a challenge. There have been a few things that have cropped up. We're still not sure it's completely right at this point because, as I mentioned yesterday, what happened was the ISBN that we bought, which was supposed to be for the paperback, ended up being assigned to the ebook by accident and was taken off the ebook, but then Draft to Digital would not let us reassign it to the paperback version. So we may be just using the Draft to Digital ISBN. And I don't know how necessary it is really to purchase an ISBN because that is another cost affiliated with publishing. And we have not done it up to this point. We have just been using the ones that are generated by each of the platforms that we use. So this is a new experience for us, which is how we ended up getting, some confusion with uploading our ISBN to Draft to Digital. So that's still a challenge. That's still in progress. We're waiting for the proof copy. But in the meantime, hopefully I will get at least a few more copies of Haunt Season for this weekend, and we are preparing all of our other things. I will be finishing my update of our book sheet to turn it into a trifold brochure, and I will also, it's good to have a sign on your table that talks about how much your books cost. Depending on where you are, we have done events where we are our own cashiers, but there are also events where the organizers act as the cashier. For example, if we do a nonprofit like the Sierra Arts Foundation, they handle the cashier duties. So we need to make sure that they know the prices and the customers know the prices as well. So we did get a new double-sided sign, and I will be doing a new sheet for that mentions the cost of our books because it's good for people to know so that they don't have to interact with you much if they don't feel like it. It can be a little awkward talking to someone you don't know, especially there are a lot of very shy people out there. There are some people who come up and just start chatting with us, which is awesome. And I really enjoy those people. I especially like the kids and teenagers who come up and say that they want to be authors. And it's always fun to, oh, this bookmark is adorable. It's a little book with a cat reading it, and it's got a paw print on the cover. So the having kids come up and talk to us about the fact that they would love to write a book is a lot of fun. And we try to be as encouraging as possible because we really feel that anybody who wants to write a book should write a book. It is challenging now because a lot of people are feeling like, and I know JT and I feel this way as well, but it feels a little bit like no matter how hard you try, you cannot get attention on your books. Plus, there's all the AI slop that's being thrown out there. I know there has been some backlash against that with certain companies that are removing AI content from their platforms, but it's still pretty pervasive. So that's something that is very discouraging. So when someone comes to us and talks about wanting to write and publish a book, we do try to be as encouraging as possible, but we also are realistic in telling them that it's not easy. Sitting down to write a book is one thing, and finishing the book is a great accomplishment. Then you get into the whole publication and promotion part of the process, and that's where it gets really challenging because you have much less control over the results of your labors because, like I said, sitting down to write the book, that's a great accomplishment. And pretty much all of that is on you. You just need to sit down and do it. And really, you don't need to have any specific time frame or anything to get it done. Just do it. Just enjoy yourself. But once you get past that point, it becomes more complicated. And that's the part where we try to be a little bit more realistic and let people know that, no, you're not going to be an overnight success. It's possible. There are a very small percentage of people who maybe have written the right thing at the right time and found the right person to help promote it. And they could go viral. They could, become the next big name, the next big bestseller. And I think one of the reasons we keep doing what we do is that we hope, eventually one of our books will be released at the right place at the right time. It will be the kind of book that people are looking for, and then, we'll take off. So we keep writing and we keep publishing and we keep promoting and we keep doing all of these book events and giving away business cards and book keychains and candy because, a little chocolate never hurts. And we're just trying to find our people, basically. So it is kind of a tiring process. I do enjoy this part of it, though, because I've always enjoyed when I had my day jobs. I always enjoyed doing event preparation for those. And I was tasked with covering booths for some of the jobs that I worked at. When I worked at tourism, I was one of the people that volunteered to cover the booth for the state fair. And while I was working at the Nevada State Library and Archives, I went to some events to promote the archives. And specifically, I went to one in Boulder City, Nevada, which is in the south. It is near Las Vegas. It's actually between Las Vegas and Hoover Dam. Boulder City was built during the 1930s, I believe, when they were building Hoover Dam, because that's where the workers lived. And Boulder City is one of, I think, maybe 2 places in Nevada that does not allow gambling, which is an interesting bit of trivia for you. So because it was federal workers who were constructing the dam, they didn't want them to be distracted. They could go into Las Vegas and gamble, obviously, but they couldn't do it in the city limits of Boulder City. And so Boulder City is still a gambling-free zone in Nevada. It is a nice little community. It's very art-oriented, and also being in Southern Nevada, there is a little bit of an alien vibe to it in some spots because it's not very far from Area 51. But I went down to Boulder City to the Veterans Home to promote the archives and to promote the military records that the archives holds to veterans, because it was during the year, it was the centennial of World War I. So it was fun to chat with all the residents of the home who stopped by. It was a very fun event. JT and I drove down there together, and we spent the night in Boulder City in a nice little, I think we stayed at a Holiday Inn Express or something. And we found a cute little cafe that actually, I have a couple of coffee mugs. They look like little terracotta planting pots that they put a handle on them. And so I just love those coffee cups. I have way too many coffee cups already, but I couldn't resist getting those too. So I have those from that event. And I have a lot of good memories from that event too. That was the year when I designed the Archives Month poster. Everything just came together. And I can actually put a link probably to the page where that Archives Month poster is, because it shows what records are held by various historical repositories around Nevada that related to veterans. So I had a photograph, we had a service card, and then there was a photograph of, well, there was a photograph of a couple service members, along with, I found their particular service cards. And then there was a background photograph that was I believe it was troops getting ready to leave. And that was, I think that one was from Southern Nevada. And then there was a poster. So one of the posters that they did to promote serving your country during wartime. So that was a very interesting experience all around, and I really enjoyed it. And preparing for those types of events they were kind of some of my favorite things to do when I was working. And especially when I was working at tourism, I got to help with the governor's conference, and I got to help them create things like patches, like the kind of patches that you would sew on to a jacket or something. And I designed one of those for one of the events. So events are kind of my thing. And actually putting these little bags together was my idea. And so far it's been working out pretty well. But it is good to try to come up with your own idea of how to attract people to your table. Some people, I have some things on my desk right now from last weekend, what other authors were using to help draw people to their table. And one of the things was a quiz to basically determine which book you might enjoy the most. So you take the quiz, and it either tells you what character you might be most like, or what kind of story would really resonate with you. So we may try to do that. I'm thinking of doing things like a little word search of the titles of our books. So just, kind of drawing people over. They don't necessarily have to buy the books at the table, which is why we give them the book sheet, or what is going to be the book brochure, so that they can go back later on. And you will see that on our business card, we do have a QR code that goes to our bookstore. What we tell our local friends is that if they want to order a book from our bookstore, if they don't feel like buying it at that time, but maybe later, they can order the book and then tell us that they are local, and we will delete the shipping fee, and we will meet them somewhere public, like a coffee shop, and we will hand over the autographed copy and chat with them for a few minutes. So we have kind of offered that opportunity. Nobody has taken us up on it yet, but there was someone who bought a book at an event, part of a series, and they said that if they decide to read further books, they may take us up on that. So there are a variety of things that can be done to help kind of promote the both your books and yourself to your local friends as you're trying to build a following. We don't yet have enough of a following that, people line up and we sell out or anything like that, but we're hopeful that that may happen someday. And we just keep plugging away. But just thought I'd bring you along as I am preparing for this coming weekend's event to show you what I do with these little book bags. As you can see, I have this basket that I put on the table, and it's full of these little bags, and they disappear pretty quickly. This weekend's event is going to be at the Reno Public Market on Saturday, July 18th from noon to 3 p.m. Reno Public Market is a very busy location, and it doesn't always translate to a lot of sales or a lot of people coming by our table, but it's possible. I will show you, after we do that event, how much we have left, because if nothing else, we may get rid of a majority of these. And if, they may not keep the cards, but hopefully they remember that, they enjoyed going through and finding the keychains they wanted out of the little bag. And maybe they will have a kind thought for us and check out our books. So it's not always about the sales, it's about making the connections. And making the connections, I think, is the most fun part of the whole thing. So we're working on trying to make those connections, and hopefully, the tide will turn at some point and people actually will see that we're going to be in a specific location, and they will purposely make time to stop by and say hi. I've had that happen with friends that I used to work with and family members, but I haven't yet had that happen with people that we don't personally know. So I did notice at last weekend's event that there was a woman who had quite the crowd around her table. And we found out that the crowd was her friends and family. They were buying her books, but it's kind of nice to also have an audience of people that you don't know personally, get that word to spread wider. And I think about book signings of big name authors where sometimes there are lines wrapping around the block. And I wonder, if some of the fans of those big name authors who end up waiting for hours in sometimes bad weather, in the heat, in the cold, just to get a few seconds with their favorite author, it would be nice if they would think about the fact that if they take a chance on someone like JT and I, when we're still not that well known, we'll have much more time to chat with them. And, if they do end up really liking our books, then they can say they were in on the ground floor as we started to take off, and they won't have to spend all that time waiting in line in bad weather. They can just come up, chat, and, for as long as they want, and move on. So we'll see if we ever get to the point where people actually do start lining up for our book events, but we keep trying. And we'll have the one at Reno Public Market on Saturday. I am going to the retirement community in Reno on Sunday, the same one that JT went to recently. And then on July 24th, we will be at Bub's Bookstore here in Carson City. Bub's is doing an evening event, something about the porch, I think, because their building has a cute little porch with some chairs. And I think they're trying to encourage community members to come out and enjoy the bookstore as a third space so they can sit and chat. They're doing things like book clubs, and they're doing audiobook walks, which I think is a great idea. They encourage people to meet up on the patio behind the bookstore with their headphones, and they can listen to their audiobooks as they walk around West Carson City, which is an absolutely beautiful walk. And it's a historic district, so they can see all the nice houses from the 19th century. So Bub's is off to a great start. They've only been open for about a month now, I think, and they're already becoming a big part of our community. So we're excited to have them. We're excited that they are allowing us to kind of piggyback on their event to do JT's book release. So that will be Defying Salvation. And that's on July 24th from 5:30 to 6:30, I believe. July 24th also happens to be JT's birthday. So if you're local, we hope you'll stop by, and if not buy a book as a present to him, at least stop by and wish him a happy birthday, because that would be fun. At our age, birthdays are kind of like, it's another day. But the more interest we get from people in our books and what we're doing, the more fun we have on those kind of days. And that's why we kind of started releasing books on our birthdays, because Haunt Season officially came out on my birthday. Anyway, that's it. I've filled up the bag. Once we get the candy, I'm going to go back and add it to the little bags. So that will be all ready to go for Saturday, and halfway through the box of business cards here. So we are getting them out there. I don't know if it's really translating to anybody looking at our website. We have gotten traffic, so that's a good thing. And JT's Sheriff books have been selling really well this month, so hopefully that will keep up. And I hope that maybe more people will find these books. So thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate you hanging out with me while I filled our little goodie bags. And if you are in the local area and you'd love to get one, stop by Reno Public Market this Saturday, July 18th, between noon and 3 p.m. I'm not sure if we'll be on the main floor or up on the second floor. Just look for all of the authors, because we will be with a group of local authors. It's Author Day for Reno Art Town. So there are a lot of activities going on throughout Reno for this month, and Author Day is just one of them. This weekend, there's also an author event at the Galaxy Theater in Sparks at Victorian Square. They are doing a premiere of The Odyssey, the movie The Odyssey, but they're also going to have authors in the theater selling their books. So I believe many of those will be in the evenings, but there might be some afternoon time. So you can come to either Reno Public Market, you can go to the Sparks Galaxy Theater, and meet some of your local authors, especially if you're here in Northern Nevada. There are a lot of great local authors. There are a lot of fun people to meet. There are a lot of interesting books to find. And like I was saying, you could get in on the ground floor for somebody who might become one of the next big names, and get to hang around and chat with us before there are massive lines that you have to wait in. So thank you again for following me. I apologize, my mouth is a little dry. But I will be back again tomorrow to chat about something else. Do remember that we are still in the running for America's Favorite Couple. This round ends tomorrow. So as I record this, it is July 15th, 2026. The first round ends on July 16th at 7 p.m. Pacific, so that's tomorrow. You can have one free vote for each 24-hour period, or donate to get more votes. I believe it's $1 a vote with a $10 minimum. And it is for a couple of worthy charities, the Los Angeles Regional Food Bank and Oceana. And it would be fun if we can advance to the next level. We are currently in 6th place. The top 20 will be advancing, so unless something really major happens, it's entirely possible we may be advancing to the next round. So I hope you'll stay tuned, because I will keep you posted on how that's going. I don't know if we'll make it all the way to the grand prize, but that would be exciting, because it is $20,000, which JT and I would put toward updating our podcast setup. We have a building that we want to retrofit as a podcast studio and office for our little Two More Books company. It also includes a dinner with a couple of celebrities, Jeff Goldblum and his wife, and a couple of other celebrities that unfortunately I can never remember their names, and also a photo spread in Variety magazine, which would be hopefully great publicity for us as we try to promote ourselves and our books. So we're having fun with that. We're having fun with our books, and we're having fun chatting with you. So hang in there, keep us company, follow along. You can like and subscribe and do all those things. And like I said, I will chat with you again tomorrow. I'm Cassidy Carson, and this is The Life of a Writer. Take care.